Unlike when Dr. Seuss decided to try to go adult content, Jim Henson actually made it work. So join us in watching Dark Crystal in this episode of Ruining Your Childhood.
Hey guys, I'm Jazz.
Typically, I'm John.
I'm Ken.
I'm Mike.
And we are the nerds of N9000. We are watching for Ruining Your Childhood, The Dark Crystal. And I remember really liking this movie as a kid. I really enjoyed it to the point where when I got to be an adult, I bought the special edition. I'm just a big Jim Henson fan. I have probably spent hours on YouTube watching the Muppets. This is just right up my alley.
So I saw Dark Crystal when I was a kid, or officially The Dark Crystal when I was a kid. I didn't remember much about it. I remembered, one, enjoying it, and two, being terrified of the Skeksis.
This movie came out in 82, so when we saw it, odds are it was on, VHS for all of us? Yeah, I remember renting it a lot in Blockbusters.
I think a friend had it when I was a kid,
As a kid, it was one of my
It
favorites.
was in your rotation.
Yeah, it was definitely in one of my rotations. This and The First Team in T. Of course. You got to. And the second one, too. Yeah, it was definitely one of Jim's departures from the typical Sesame Street, Muppets, kid-friendly stuff. Something that's a little more adult, but not actually adult.
It felt very YA to me. YA fantasy kind of thing.
Yeah.
How about you, Mike?
Oh, I've never seen this movie.
So,
at all.
And you haven't seen anything? No video?
Nothing? I've seen bits and pieces, but honestly, I just was I came in this clean.
Tell you what, the best experience we've had on this show so far was watching Teen Witch, and you and I came in clean.
That is very true.
And we have not topped that yet. We're watching it in honor of the TV show that's coming out on Netflix. So it's interesting that it's coming out on Netflix when it doesn't seem like there's been a lot of buzz, before about it.
I felt very caught off guard.
Yeah.
It was like Netflix, the Dark Crystal series. I was like, what?
And I know it's popular, though. I know a lot of people like it. You don't really see it like you do for other movies that we've had when we were kids.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the underground cult films.
Yeah.
I feel like this one and Labyrinth were ones that were overlooked. Only kids our age really loved it. Drink! He's going to be doing that a lot throughout this movie. Two! That bottle will be empty.
It really will. Oh, that was the third one.
That was. You should have a counter.
Oh, I will be.
That would be too much work. You'll never be able to keep up with it.
You won't! You'll be drunk before the movie gets halfway through.
Exactly.
I'm not ready to go alone. All right? Alone, then.
That was a real quick turnaround. I'm sorry.
He's like, I'm not ready to go alone. All right?
Well, I'll go alone.
If I have to.
My only complaint so far really is just that Jen's acting seems like it belongs in a video game.
Yeah, I can see that.
It almost feels like everything Jen says is like a half step too late. It's like, you must go into the whatever, and he's like, master. It's like a pause, like you were selecting your option.
Your character.
Chamberlain, no, wait, stop, you can't.
Get back, spithead!
He called him a All of this is in the game, by the way. I can't wait to play it.
Really?
Yes.
That's really detailed.
How else can I make the prediction?
Jen's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
That was really funny. I think whoever's in that suit, it was last minute, and they were like, it didn't seem like planned.
Yeah.
Which one is it?
Don't know.
We're not.
I know this is for children, but as an adult, I've never felt
more attacked in my entire life. How did she know I've made that sound sitting down?
I think that's Miss Piggy in 1,000 years.
Yes!
Yeah, the kid driving his suit is really good. Because it's obviously a child.
Yeah.
Or they broke any child labor laws.
It could
No,
just be a
it was
little
a puppet. We didn't use 3 different children for Jen. That's crazy.
Why does he look like he's looking direct to camera? Like, y'all see this?
He's like me when I'm pretending to do bug assault stuff.
At this point, they're playing hide and seek.
I'm not afraid. My timing.
Oh no, right in the mud.
That's the takeaway?
With its mouth closed, it kind of looks like John.
Moldy mildew, mother of mouth muck, dangle and strangle to death.
Moldy mildew, mother of muck.
Mouth mug
Mouth
is definitely mother.
She just on the floor.
That's what it looked like.
Hey, I know we're on this mission, babe, but I want to lay this like sweet track down.
Podlings are actually Greek. They start smashing dishware. You know.
My big fat podling wedding.
Oh, I watched the hell out of that movie.
You know the 3 suns in the sky? They're going to come together soon.
Oh,
It's
that
called the
sounds catastrophic.
The great something or other.
That's fair, though.
I must actually love that.
Yeah.
18. I've been keeping track still.
The sketch just saw that it was good. And then he rested.
And said,
Let there be. That was awesome.
So we just finished watching The Dark Crystal, and I still like the movie. There's a lot more parts for me that I laughed at that I don't remember laughing at before. And not because it necessarily is bad. I don't think it was intended to be funny, but there were just some things that happened that I just thought was funnier. And there are a lot more spots in it, which I think is indicative of movies from this time period that are just slow. Because we've watched a bunch from like the 80s and stuff like that, where I feel like that just the way that movies are timed back then.
Well, that may be our biggest complaint when we do these episodes. Is that movies feel so long. Like I remember Hook and Mrs. Doubtfire. I didn't remember those feeling like they were Titanic length films.
Exactly.
But they felt so long. And this definitely does kind of teeter on that direction. It's not as bad as either of those.
Yeah.
But yeah, it felt a little long. I laughed at things I think were indicative of filmmaking of the time period where like
maybe that's what it
there's
is.
the scene where Jen is like tossed. His legs go up in the air, and it's like this obvious, ridiculous, like doll thing.
Yeah,
they don't really do that anymore. That's pretty rare. Just kind of
it
the
might just be the
80s to early 90s. They were like, how do we film this? Just throw a doll. So that we laughed a lot at stuff like that, where it was obvious, like being able to see now as adults, like how they did it, and it's just so ridiculous looking. I enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it a lot, and that makes me more excited for the Netflix. Series.
And remembering, because like we talked about before, I didn't remember much, and John didn't remember much. Ken was the one that kind of came in with more of a memory. So I like that we are doing this now because I think it'll help, even though the TV show, I think, is a prequel, right? Isn't
yes,
it a
the TV show is a prequel, and it'll be very interesting in technology differences. Because back in the 80s, all practical, all on film strips.
Yeah.
But aren't they going practical with the...
They are, but not as much as they used to.
Okay.
In The Dark Crystal, it was practically 100% all practical. In the new series, they have a lot of CGI helping out, too. I saw that really happening around the time of Muppets Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
They implemented a lot more green screen graphics to help out with the normal puppetry. And now, 2019, you could expect a lot more graphics to help out in the process. Yeah.
Don't make me sad about it either. The previews that I've seen so far still feel like they pay homage to the original movie. What do you think of the movie since you hadn't seen it, Mike?
I thought it was interesting. There's a lot more nude shots of Jen than I thought there would be. Like, just chilling out.
Fair.
I think the one thing that made everything slower was the fact that even Sesame Street, all the puppets, like, move really kinetically.
That's
really
true,
fast.
yeah.
This, they almost move, like, slower claymation instead of, like, having something run across the screen, but you only see half of it. They were like, all right, it's full body and it's gonna be really heavy, and you just gotta move and just move however you move.
The Skeksis kind of stayed in place, and even when they were like fighting amongst themselves and stuff, I felt like they moved way faster than the Mystics did.
Yeah,
the Mystics kind of did everything in a slow,
plotting.
Like
they were very like,
yeah,
I'm going to move.
Exactly. And I mean, it's older, so we're coming at it too from where we've seen where Muppetry can go.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I did feel like the Skeksis moved a bit like Big Bird.
Yeah, I could see that.
Right?
I totally see
They're kind of like,
yeah,
like a lumbering,
especially like old Big Bird.
Yeah.
Honestly, it still holds up for me. I really loved it when I was younger, but now I don't know. I think I'd probably rate it at like 7,000.
So for me, I have kind of two minds on this film, and one is just exactly what you said.
Yeah.
Like, it's still good, but it's like it's
Yeah.
different. It's a different time. Your movies are different. But two, even though it feels dated, even by today's standards, having like an entire film where everything is a person in a suit is really
still
impressive.
It is.
Like, you'd think there'd be at least some regular people or just like people in people-shaped suits.
Yeah.
No, none of them. I would definitely give it probably a 7,500.
For myself, as a kid, as I mentioned before, loved this. Rented it a lot at Blockbusters. Now, it's still good. It's still good. I definitely agree that it holds up. My only critique is that it can be boring at times. Pacing is a little bit slow, so on, so forth. But Jim makes some impressive characters and creatures. As for my grade, I would say 7.5 as well.
What do you think?
What do you think, Mike?
I'm not as critical as everybody else here, but I mean, I liked it. If I would give an honorary grading, it'd be like 6,000.
I think if that's 275s, a 7, and a 6, I think that averages out to a perfect 7. If I'm not mistaken.
Wow, 7,000 even. Whoa, look at that. Nice. So, power rating of exactly 7,000.
If you have some suggestions for classic movies that we should watch, you definitely should give us some. Make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, click the alert button, join us for our videos. And as always, on Fridays, we have new videos. But if you can't wait for Friday, there's a new video for you now.